everyone's favorite skinny druid or green monk, I mean, you can really call him whatever you want, the Spiritborn, the new class for Diablo 4's Vessel of Hatred, has a bit of a situation. You've probably seen not one, two, three, I mean, basically every single Diablo content creator is making sometimes multiple videos about trillions of damage. I mean, just trillions of damage. Hit you one shot, literally, one shot your mom. The damage is crazy. You won't believe what happens next with this damage. To be fair, they're right. I mean, the class is literally doing trillions of damage. I used to say, oh my god, I'm doing 1 billion damage when I feel like I'm actually popping off, but I have to stop saying that, because if I say I'm doing 1 billion damage nowadays, that just means my build is shit. And you're probably thinking, well, DM, wasn't there a number stat squish? Oh, there was, for, I mean, pretty much everything other than HP and damage, so let's actually show you what's going on. Now, I first ran into this video, which was by Lucky Lucia, talking about the new rank 1 Spiritborn build, in which he shows him literally hitting for like 1 trillion damage. I mean, numbers that are absolutely insane, but he shouts out somebody else and says he has a variant of one of the OG builds. So I thought, okay, let me go back and find like the originator of this. Now, the oldest video I could find that was doing this is Orange Quill by Goblin Inc. I believe this gentleman is also known as Ace of Spades on Twitch and should be credited with the original invention of this, as far as I am aware. So I'm going to put a link down below, because I'm not going to do a build guide on this. If you want to cover you want to take a look at the build or something like that, just copy paste it. I'll put a link to his video. He breaks it down. He's the OG that came up with it. Here is where this originally started. So effectively, there's a build that's doing like upwards of 1 trillion damage. Everyone figured out that, oh, this guy's got in the same build, and everyone started sort of doing spin-offs, like their variants of it. Speaking of spin-offs and variants of it, I, of course, copy-pasted somebody else's build in order to figure this out. So I was like, all right, let's actually try this myself. Now, before this, I was using the Touch of Death, and I hit for like 500 million damage. I'm thinking 500 million damage, my god, I have to absolutely be popping off right now. But then I went and I found Lucky's video, and I copy-pasted his planner, which again is built off of goblins, and I was surprised immediately. But here's an Uber Lilith Torment 4, just to give you an example of it, and I was sweating to try to kill there before with my build, and now this is sort of what it looks like with this Orange Quill type of build. I mean, the damage is honestly pretty hilarious. The crux of it is effectively, not only are you hitting extremely fast, but you're also hitting extremely hard. Everything is going to overpower as well because of the way the build works. It's just a ridiculous build. You're also survivable. Now, I understand in Diablo 4 multipliers or things, and people are better at making builds than me, so they figure out which multipliers actually work together. But very often when I see these numbers go to like stupid amounts, it's almost always a bug. Like, do you remember the Bulwark Druid, in which it was one-shotting everything, more or less, because it was scaling off the HP, not of yourself, but of the mobs? Now, in Rob's video, he explains that there is a crazy multiplier that's going on with the barrier and the barrier generation. In his comment section, I scrolled down, and there was an interesting comment talking about how it's actually a bug scaling off of max life, not a bug scaling off of the barrier generation. So at this point, if you type in, like, trillion damage, Diablo 4, in the search thing, you're going to see, I mean, just videos. Literally, everyone's got 1 billion, trillion, quadrillion, ubergillion damage. So at this point, it's almost hard to even tell if your build's any good. Like, if I'm not hitting for 69 trillion, 420, like, I must suck. But what's interesting about it is my Paragon board's not min-max. This is my own, like, ghetto version. I was too lazy to redo the Paragon board, so I just kept it what it was and swapped out the glyph, so it's not even remotely the correct one. My gear is not that good. It's kind of off what the people were recommending and stuff. But even me, like, I've been able to hit, like, 5 billion damage or whatever. But even at this point, what's hilarious is I'm on, like, tier 97 or something of the pit. My understanding is the highest pit clear that I've even seen, even if this is bugged, let's just say it is bugged, is like 125, and the ceiling of these pits is like 200. So even, let's just assume it's bugged, and people are hitting for actual trillions of damage, people still haven't got, like, even with a bug, people still aren't going to get to the pit 200. So that shit is that HP is, man, it is up there. So it's got me thinking, like, at this state, I'm going to start testing other classes, because I feel like the Spiritborn has really made it confusing for me to figure out, like, where are normal builds? Like, I saw the same guy who came up with this Giga Chad build, Goblin's got like 1 billion damage, of the Necromancer Blood Wave, which is basically, I mean, you can more or less one-shot everything with 1 billion damage, but then we got people out here hitting for 1,000 times that with 1 trillion damage. I mean, I thought I was doing pretty good when I was hitting 500 million damage with a ghetto touch of death build. But I mean, fuck me, 500 million damage, I guess I'm just dog shit. And God forbid you're playing what IGN's absolutely busted Diablo 4 Spirit build from like 2 days ago. I mean, this guy's hitting for like 5 million. I mean, 2 days ago I was like, damn, that build's looking good. And now 5 million, I don't wipe my ass with 5 million damage. Here's Woody's gameplay of him playing the same, evade spam build. You know, the funny part about this build is the most difficult conversation I've seen related to that build is whether or not you're going to get banned for using a macro because no one wants to get carpal tunnel from spamming the same goddamn button over and over again. So in conclusion, Green Monk right now is absolutely hilarious. You got billion damage, which is apparently old news. Now it's trillion damage. I don't know what's next. Maybe quadrillion damage, or maybe we're going to get that infinite sign again like I saw in that one Rob's video. You have the evade spam, which, good luck. I guess you're just gonna have to go ahead and get yourself a few maxes so you can blow through that scroll wheel real good, so that way you can continue to spam the move. The builds are absolutely hilarious. It feels good to play, feels blasting, but when I see these videos of like, here's Woody just absolutely just cooking with this thing, you know what this reminds me of? You remember those spaceship games, like 1942 from the arcade back in the day, where you're a spaceship just sitting there just shooting the laser cannon, you pick up the power up and you drop the bomb and stuff. That's what that shit looks like to me. I actually kind of like those games though. So that's kind of fun. Am I going to log back on to the non-skinny version of Druid and hit for about 17 damage on my Lightning Storm? I mean, probably not. Spiritborn is kind of cooking right now. So there's an absolute gazillion of these videos and guides out there. You can go find whichever one you want. Like I said, I saw it on Lucky's, but I'm going to shout out and put a link below and recommend you guys go watch Goblins or Ace of Spades. As far as all the research I've seen done, this was the originator of this build, and he's got a build guide and all that in there. I would just send you this way. Give it a thumb up. The man cooked up probably the most, like, viral? Is that the word for this build I've ever seen in Diablo 4? And the most ridiculous fun build I've seen in the game as well. So shout out to Goblin. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.